everyone, welcome back to another video. So today marks exactly 2 weeks post-show from my competition. So 2 weeks exactly today was when I stepped on stage to compete at the UK BFF Kent Classic. It's kind of mad already how 2 weeks post-show, it's just kind of flying by. But this video, I just wanted to talk about a topic that I feel like isn't really approached enough, and I feel like surprisingly it isn't talked enough, especially on YouTube. And as you guessed by the title of the video, it's post-show rebounds, controlling your diet after you finish with your competition, binge eating, and how to just get back on track with your training, motivation, and things like that in general. Because, like I said, this is something that I've experienced for the first time, and I'm actually kind of shocked and surprised the emotional feelings that I've been getting post-show, both physically and mentally. It really did surprise me. So that's why I really wanted to talk about this topic, and I feel like these type of videos need to get out there a little bit more, and I feel like more professionals out there need to get these videos out there. IFBB pros, people that have got more experience than I have, need to talk about more in depth about post-show rebounds, how to go about your diet, where do you go with reverse dieting, how to control binge eating, and just overall what should you do and how to not be so stressed. So that's why I want to start with this video and talk a little bit more about it. Also, a lot of people have been asking me about when's the next day in the life video. So before I go into this video, I just want to let you guys know this week is literally just going to be all videos talking about my off season with supplements, obviously the post-show rebound, which is this video, my workouts, nutrition, and things like that. And then as of next week, I've got a load of things lined up for you guys. I'll be traveling away down to Shrewsbury to meet my coach, Eddie Hall, and there's going to be a lot more day in the life videos come next week, where you guys get to see a little bit more of my off season, the food that I'm eating, what I get up to during the day, my work, workouts, all things like that. So stay tuned onto the YouTube channel by subscribing. The day in the life videos are coming as of next week, and so are the food challenge videos. Like I said on that last video, it was all about me just having some time off. I just really wanted, after I finished with my competition, I just really wanted to relax, have some time with my family, and just have some time away from the camera and YouTube. So I do apologise for you guys that have been waiting. For you guys that have been waiting, I do appreciate all the support, but all the videos will be coming back as of next week. But this week is just going to be showing you guys an in-depth of my off season, my structure, my plans, my strategy, everything, and more detailed topics like this one today. So anyway, let's get straight into this video. So the main topic I want to talk about this video is how to go about with your diet after you finish with a competition. Now, the analogy that I've been using is when you're in a diet prep, it's almost like you've been put in prison. For me, my competition prep was 5 months. So I've been put in prison for 5 months, and I had those 4 same walls to look at every single morning. I had to wake up, I had to do my cardio, I had to stick to the same meals, I had to do the same workout, I had to come back home, eat the same meals again, go back to bed and wake up and do the same thing over and over again, where it got so repetitive. It was just like I was looking at these 4 same walls every single day for 5 solid months. Now imagine doing that for 5 months or however long your prep is, and then one day somebody just walks into that room and just says, you're free. You can now do whatever you want. You have no responsibilities, you have no regimen, you have no routine, you have nothing. You can just go out and do whatever you want. You're free as a bird. Now that is a very difficult, both mentally and physically, to deal with. The emotions that I had after I finished with my competition was, they were so mixed, and it was so surprising because I just didn't know what to do with myself. So at this stage, it almost just felt like all I want to do is sit on the couch and eat everything in sight, because I'm now free. I don't have this set diet plan. I don't have to eat this meal for breakfast, this meal for meal 2, this meal for meal 3, so on and so on. I can eat whatever I want. At first, this was a good thing. It was all about relaxing, enjoying myself, and just having some good food with my family and just unwinding. But then the day after that, it kind of got more of a challenge, because it was like, I want to eat this again. And then the day after that, it was like, I want to eat again and again and again. And if you carry on doing this, we all know the post-show rebound is ridiculous. We put on like 20 pounds in the first 3 days. Our body is just like a sponge. It soaks everything up. It's so sensitive, and you're just going to gain fat so quickly. So it's all about trying to control your diet and your nutrition afterwards. But how do you do it after 5 months of being in such a regime and such a strict program, then all of a sudden being free and then having to go back to some sort of nutrition diet? restricting yourself again, even though you just literally just been set free? How do you do it? Because at the end of the day, I've seen some videos and I've seen some people talking about the topic, and they say reverse dieting is always the best method to use when you finish off with a competition. Now, I believe this is the best way to go, and this is what I've used, but it's easier said than done. It's easier for someone to sit here on the camera and just say, right, just use reverse dieting when you finish up your competition. Now, for you people that don't know what reverse dieting is, that is going back to what your diet was the last week leading up to your show, then gradually increasing your calories. So you're going in the reverse direction. Instead of gradually decreasing your calories, you're going to gradually increase them. Now, to say that to somebody who's just been given that freedom card to eat whatever they want and do what they want, then go back to their prep diet, that's so easier said than done. So the best method and the best strategy and advice that I'd like to give you guys is try and go back to that reverse dieting. Try and go back to your macros that you were having the last week leading up to your show. But don't be too strict on yourself. If there's certain foods that you want to have it, but have it in moderation. So if you're eating your first meal of the day, which is your bowl of oats and eggs, but a half hour later or an hour later, you fancy some waffles, some pancakes, or another bowl of oats, just have that bowl of oats. But try and have everything in moderation. Try and control your portions, you know, try not to go too crazy and end up having, you know, a whole bag of oats or a whole bag of waffles, whole bag of pancakes, etc, etc. You know what I'm trying to say here, you know. Just try and have it in moderation, but don't restrict yourself so much, because if you restrict yourself so much after you finish up with your competition, you're more likely to end up just giving in and just having a crazy ass binge and eating everything in sight. And then you're going to feel guilty. You're going to start using comfort foods, and this is going to make you feel comfortable. It's going to make you feel kind of good inside, but the day after it's going to make you feel like crap. But at the time, you feel so good that you carry on eating, and then you eat more and more and more. And to some points, you're eating to the point where you're feeling sick. You can't eat any more food, but you carry on eating just because of the hormones in those foods, and the hormones that are being released into your body is making you feel comfortable, and it's making you want to eat more because you're feeling happy at the time. But you know, the next day when you wake up, you're going to feel guilty, you're going to feel sluggish, you're going to feel fat, and you're just going to feel depressed, and even worse. And then this can trigger more binge eating. So try and restrict yourself, going back to your, you know, prep diet macros, and increase those calories gradually. But if there's certain foods that you really fancy at the time, just try and have them, but in moderation. You know, you want to restrict yourself, but not restrict yourself too badly that it becomes stressful on your body. Now, the best advice that I like to say is when it goes to reverse dieting, what you want to mainly focus on is, obviously, off season is the time for us now to grow. So the main priority is we want to have our proteins high. When we finish up with our post-competition, this is when our body is in this anabolic window where we're at our prime time of growing. So you want to increase your protein. So let's say, for example, if you're somebody that was having around 250 grams of protein the last week leading up to your actual show day, try and boost that up to about 300 grams of protein and stick to that. Then the next source that you want to focus on is your carbohydrates. So gradually we want to increase our carbohydrates, but over time. So for example, for me, I was around about 150 grams of carbohydrates the last week leading up to my show. So I'll go back to 150 grams, or maybe increase this to 200 grams, and I'll hold that out for 1 week. And then the week after that, I'll boost this back up to 250 grams of carbohydrates. The week after that to 300, then to 350. So I'm only increasing it by 50 grams each single week, to where I feel like a point where, you know, I'm getting good carbohydrates in, I'm filling out nicely, I'm not putting on too much fat, and then we have to start adjusting from there. But a good advice to start from is start with what your, you know, macros were the last show leading up to the last week leading up to your show. Then gradually increase those carbohydrates on a weekly basis by around 50 grams. Now, the one thing I would advise people to do is keep your fats down as minimum as possible, because post-show, this is where our appetite is through the roof. Now, we're at the stage where we can eat everything in sight. Now, the last thing we want to have is high-fat foods. The reason being is because high-fat foods are the most calorie-dense foods. So this is where the main sources of calories are going to come from. So if you're eating very high-fat foods like pizzas, burgers, chocolate, crisps and things like that, they're going to be very calorie dense, and that's where all the calories are going to add up, and that's where you're going to be in such a calorie surplus, you're going to gain fat over a very quick period of time. So try and keep your fats down to a minimum as possible. I'll say anywhere from 20 to 30 grams, and then gradually increase that. But your main focus wants to be the proteins and carbohydrates. Protein, straight away you want to get that up as high as you can to around 250 to 300 grams, depending on where you were the last week leading up to your show. Some people may have been around 150 grams, so you're going to have to put that up to 200 grams. But this comes down to you. You're going to have to work that and calculate that out yourself. But I'm just giving you an example of what I used my last week of the show. But when it comes down to the foods, don't restrict yourself too much. Don't put yourself back onto that reverse diet and be, religious with it every single day, because you will eventually crash and you will eventually have a bigger binge than if you were to have everything in a bit of a moderation. So go with what you fancy at the time. Listen to your body. Listen to the foods that it's saying it wants, and just try and have a more controlled portion. And you'll probably realize in the long run, your binges are not as big. You're having more portion control foods, and you're not going to gain as much fat as quick as possible post-show. As for training, now the main thing, like I said, we're at post-show now. When we finish up with our show, we're done. We've done all the hard work. This is a time where we're growing, and the most importantly, this is the time where we're meant to have fun, relaxed, and be less stressed. So just go into each training session after your competition. Go by listening by your body. If you finish your competition on a Sunday and you wake up on a Monday and you feel like training, go train. If you don't feel like training, simply don't train. If you don't feel like training for that whole week, don't train for that whole week. If you feel like training for the whole week, train for the whole week. Just listen to your body and just have some fun. This is the stage where we're about to have some fun now. It's off season. It's all about enjoying some good food, enjoying our training again, and just having a relax, just relaxing, being less stressed and having a good time. If you've just done your first competition, just enjoy yourself. So go into the gym on the day that you fancy going in the gym, and if it's your chest you fancy training, train chest. But if you go into the gym session and you have in mind you want to train chest, but once you get in there, all of a sudden you've had a change of thought and you want to train legs or back or shoulders or whatever it is, go and do whatever it is that body part is. Even if you want to mix it up and do a whole upper body workout or a whole lower body workout, or just go in and do a little bit of biceps, a little bit of legs, a little bit of chest, or whatever it is, just listen to your body. This is the point where we want to start having fun, and I would suggest do this for like the first 4 to 6 weeks. After the first 4 to 6 weeks, this is when you want to start tightening things down. You want to start getting more into a program, more back to your regimen. You've had your 6 weeks where you've had your relaxation, you've had a bit of fun, you've enjoyed some good food, you've had everything in a bit of a moderation, so you haven't gained too much fat, you've actually put on some good size, you kind of swollen up over these last 6 weeks. Now you want to tighten things up a bit, so you want to get back a little bit cleaner with your diet. So instead of going from 80% clean to 20% dirty, you want to boost that back up to about 90 to 95% clean foods and 5% dirty foods. And then your training, you want to get back into a program, whether this be a split, push, pull, legs, or whether it be a single body part each week, whatever it is. Try and tighten things up, get back into your regimen, and then that's when your official off-season will start, and you can have that relaxation that's kind of been and gone. You've got that out of the system, you feel like that you're satisfied, you're done, you're happy. Now it's time to get to work, start growing, get into your off-season, and I feel like that is the best approach. How to deal with the binge eating, how to go about with your reverse dieting without trying to grow too much fat, and how to enjoy yourself, because that's the main focus, enjoying yourself on the off season. Now, I was kind of, skeptical about doing this video because obviously this is my first show, but I just wanted to spread my experience because this is a strategy that I've done after my competition, and I've had a lot of emails and a lot of messages from loads of people across my social media platforms saying, how did you keep so well with your rebound? How did you keep so good in condition after your rebound? So I thought I wanted to do this video to share my experience of how I dealt with the rebound, how I controlled the binge eating, how I controlled my reverse dieting, and how I just approached my training sessions after I was finished with my competition. So, people may hate on this video because I've only done one competition. I haven't done this for 5 years. Some people may take some good information away from this video. So, it is what it is when it comes to the social media. If you did feel like you learned something from this video, if you feel like it helped you out, please let me know in the comments below by just letting me know, just saying, you know, this video helped me out. If you feel like there's something that I missed out and you wanted me to talk about more in depth, let me also know in the comments below, and I'll either do a separate video or I'll try and answer your question in the comments section. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a big thumbs up. It does really help out my channel and it helps out this video. If you're new around here, don't forget to subscribe. Like I said, next week the day in the life videos are coming back, so you get to see an insight of my life on the off season, just what I get up to as a bodybuilder, as an online coach, as a personal trainer, just a general, you know, human being, my travels. Like I say, we're going up to see my coach, we're going to go visit Eddie Hall, I've got a load of other things lined up, and of course the most important things, the food challenges that you guys want to see. So stick around by subscribing to the YouTube channel. I hope you did enjoy this video. Post-show rebounds, 2 weeks post-show, it's off season, it's time to grow, so you know what to do. Stay safe, make it happen. Peace.
Keep chasing shadows, they're always